Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great pleasure to invite the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, to address the plenary. So you do have the floor, Mr. Secretary General.
Your Excellency, Mr. Ollanta Humala, President of Peru, Your Excellency, Mr. Manuel Pulga Vidal, President of COP20, Your Excellency, Mr. Felipe Calderon, Chair of the Global Commission of the Economy, Your Excellency Laurent Fabius, Foreign Minister of France, Honorable Vice President Al Gore, Dr. Pachauri, Chair of IPCC, Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your leadership and engagement. The global thermostat is rising. So is our awareness of the risks posed by climate change. Like never before, there is a shared understanding that we are in together. And together is the only way we will transform this crisis into an opportunity. Now is the time for decisive global action on climate change. The more we delay, the more we will pay. As you know, I hosted Climate Summit in September in New York. The summit had two aims. First, to mobilize the political will for a universal agreement at the climate negotiations in Paris in 2015, and to catalyze ambitious action on the ground to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and strengthen resilience. At the Climate Summit, I called for all hands on deck to advance climate action. That call was answered by more than 100 heads of state and government, leaders from business communities, financial institutions, and civil society. Together, they announced ambitious commitment to climate action. New coalitions came together to advance sustainable agriculture and energy efficiency. Coalitions on transport announced bold commitments to reduce emissions. CEOs committed to sustainable commodity supply chains that will help preserve the world's forest. Dozens of governments committed to advancing renewable energy in Africa and in the small island development states. Industry leaders in oil and gas, freight, HFCs, and municipal waste all came forward with a commitment to climate action. Leaders from government, the investment community, and financial institutions committed to mobilize hundreds of billions of dollars to finance low-carbon and climate-resilient pathways. These commitments will involve more than $200 billion of financial assets by the end of 2015. City networks representing over 2,000 mayors joined the compact to harmonize climate strategies. On my way to Lima, I visited Chicago City and saw Mayor Rahm Emanuel's successful Retrofit Chicago initiative to reduce energy use in large commercial buildings by 20% over 5 years. I went to the Rookery building, which is 125 years old, still elegant, and retooled for the future. This is yet another example how ambitious local action can spur global action. We must help ensure all of these efforts spur momentum for change and that all commitments are fully implemented. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we must act urgently to keep average global temperature rise below 2 degrees centigrade, the internationally agreed limit. That is why your effort is so crucial. Actions beget ambition. The more action we take today, the more likely countries will push for stronger agreements tomorrow. Actions now will set a strong foundation for Paris and go hand in hand with our efforts to realize sustainable development. We cannot eradicate poverty without strengthening climate resilience and utilizing cleaner, safer sources of energy. Indeed, climate change, climate action, and sustainable development are two sides of one coin. We have several tasks to complete in Lima to ensure a fair and balanced outcome. The first, countries must deliver by the end of this COP, by tomorrow, a draft text for 2015 agreement that provides a cleaner, solid foundation for negotiations next year in Paris. We have been talking over the last 2 decades. Now it is time to begin real, serious negotiations based on draft text. A non-paper is not an option. I urge all delegations to overcome all procedural matters and deliver a draft negotiating text with a formal status so that the work of negotiation can begin in earnest at the February session. We don't have a moment to lose. Second, we achieved an important milestone this week. Thanks to many pledges from developed and some developing world countries, we have now crossed the threshold of $10 billion for initial capitalization of Green Climate Fund. That is welcome news, but it is only a down payment, and we must ensure ready access to the most vulnerable, especially small island developing states and landlocked countries. I call on developed countries and developing countries in position to do so, to further contribute to the GCF. And third, we must spare no effort to strengthen climate action commitment on the ground. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on the eve of the climate summit, I marched in the streets of New York for climate action. Nearly 400,000 people joined from all around the world. I see many people who have joined me at that time. Among those by my side was a young leader, a young woman named Kathy Jetnil Kijiner from Marshall Island. Kathy is an activist and a poet from Marshall Island who movingly spoke at the summit as a voice of civil society. She read a poem that was a letter from her to her own daughter. She was holding her daughter. In it, she said, I quote, "They are marching for you because we deserve to do more than just to survive. We deserve to thrive, and we won't let you down." End of quote. How moving, how touching this is. She was expressing her passionate and urgent appeal to the world leaders, to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have helped to generate tremendous momentum. but we must keep going. We cannot let people and our planet down. We need ambitious climate action now. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for doing your part. I thank you. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary General, for your words. Today, in the International Day of Mountains, we are building bridges between the different actors, and also as a way to maintain the good atmosphere, dynamic and good mood that the Climate Summit has left to us. So thank you very much.